because TikTok's days are numbered. All right. What did Daisy's recent blood panel? Oh, that's a great question, Tina. Kate Hudson is an amazing singer. This is an excellent question. Daisy's blood panel came back with stunning and amazing results. Her kidneys are fine. So it turns out Daisy does not have high blood pressure. Daisy does not have high blood sugar. Daisy does not have diabetes. Daisy does not have failing kidneys. It turns out all of Daisy's whining and crying and complaining is because I've been babying her for 20 years and she's a little brat. But it doesn't mean she's not old and sick. I mean, she wheezes when she breathes. She's overweight. She's 20 pounds. She's 20 years old. She fucking has hyperthyroidism. She takes medicine twice a day. So don't, and she just went blind. So don't confuse that with her ailments. She is struggling, okay? She's struggling. But she's not dying of kidney failure. So that's fantastic news. Fantastic news. So I'm happy to report that. Yeah, this is David Duchovny. Finally, the dude comes in. You guys, this is David Duchovny. A lot of you don't know this, but I've been secretly posing with a fake name. This is David Duchovny, high and live above Los Angeles. My name is David Duchovny. I'm an actor who was in the X-Files. And if you love me, David Duchovny, if you love me, David Duchovny, you will follow me. Merry Christmas, Tim, says Charlie and Ratlink. My name is David, Charlie and Ratlink. My name is David Duchovny. Let me just let you know, my name is David Duchovny. I was on that show, The X-Files. Yeah, I also currently I star in the show Malice, currently.
Central Units, Constable EW, suspect there now. Alameda in Los Angeles. Suspect is a male, white, 40 to 45 years, wearing a blue hat, blonde hair,
Thank
black
you,
sweater, gray
dude.
pants, armed with a 15-inch knife.
Somebody's armed with a 15-inch knife on Alameda. So the call I just heard, somebody's armed with a 15-inch knife on Alameda. That's right over here. So right over there, just over the corner up there, is Alameda. And someone is armed with a knife. For the record, that was the call we just got. Thank you, Dana.
Information on a possible prowler suspect seen exiting the chimneys in the Los Angeles area. Suspect described as a male, white hair, white mustache, long white beard, heavy set, wearing a red or white fur hat, coat and black pants, pressure red pants, black belt with silver buckles, with black boots. Suspect vehicle is a shiny red sleigh pulled by 9 reindeer with one glowing red nose. Suspect exclaims as he drives out of sight, "Merry Christmas and to all a good morning."
Do you hear that, you guys? The police are doing Santa Claus call-outs on the radio. How funny is that? You just heard a call for a guy on Alameda with a 15-inch knife, followed up by that call for Santa Claus. That's fire, you guys. That is hilarious. I don't know who's doing that, but it's one of the coming right out of dispatch, you guys. Literally a guy with a 15-inch knife on Alameda followed up by a Christmas shout out, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I heard it last night as well. It wasn't just this morning. Last night I heard it. Suspect was seen driving a sleigh with a bunch of reindeer. That's pretty funny. A knife, a 15-inch knife, Stuart. He's over on Alameda, so just stay off of Alameda. Kim, that's a great question. Now that Daisy has a full, now that I've cleared other things from Daisy's situation, I am now going to consult a thyroid radiation specialist. I'm also weighing my options about seeing I think it's an ophthalmologist or some fucking, there's some term for somebody who is a cat eye doctor. There's a term for that doctor. The problem is, like, just the first exam is like $380. It gives you like 3 little tests. The doctor examines her eyes, and I'm not sure if it's worth it. This is the first time I've weighed not spending money on a doctor for her, but I know that high blood pressure is not causing her blindness. I know diabetes is not causing her blindness. I know there's nothing causing her blindness that could make her blindness reversible, right? Because that's why I was scrambling 2 weeks ago. There's a way to fix blindness in a cat if it's being caused by a certain issue, but those issues aren't causing it. Her blindness appears to be being caused simply from old age and hyperthyroidism. So I'm probably not going to go to the cat eye doctor at this point, but I am going to consult. I'm going to consult the thyroid radiation specialist to see if it might be worth getting her that $5,000 treatment. That'll be a $5,000 treatment to what they say cures hyperthyroidism. Not only, it's not, they say it fucking cures. Hello, Bell Blue. Hello, Bell Blue. So I will consult him and say, is it, I need like I'll get 2 opinions at least. Is it worth it on an old cat, Oh, by the way, her hyperthyroidism levels were down. So if you guys know how to read blood work, then you're a doctor or you're me. No, the range 4.0 is high, but that's the high limit. So when we first diagnosed her with hyperthyroidism, cats can live up to 30 fucking years, but normally they die at like 16, 17. Feral cats usually much less. But her first level over 4.0 was a 4.2. That's when we diagnosed her maybe a year and a half ago. And then we were only giving her half a dose. And then her hyperthyroidism levels went up to 5.6, which is extremely high. And we went full dose. This last blood work had her down to 3.1, which is still high, but extremely promising to see that it's now coming way down. So I will give these numbers. Things are going in the right direction. I don't know. The thing with this radiation treatment is you will take her to this hospital. They will take radiation and literally cure the thyroid gland will shrink, and they say it cures it, but she has to stay in this hospital for 3 days to decontaminate, blah, blah, blah. And when I talked to the doctor about this, he said we can give her the medicine we give all cats to control the hyperthyroidism. She's 20 years old. Is it worth trying to cure her? Is she too old? Will the radiation kill her? And by the way, Daisy is 21 years old. The truth is, I have to go back to my old Kodak camera because I can't remember if I got her in 2000 and in 2004 or 2005. There's a lot to consider. Did you read that Rob Reiner had a tunnel under his house? Okay, Lori, I'm going to ask you real quick. Where did you read that? And are you just fucking with me? Or please give me the source where you read something that ridiculous. Now, the reason I'm not going to go all the way sideways on that comment is this. Rob Reiner does own 2 estates. So if they both have a basement, then potentially they could have a little access point from house to house. But of course there are not tunnels. If you're talking about like the tunnels that people talk about under P. Diddy's, the Playboy Mansion, all of LA, and like the drive-through Starbucks and shit, Please don't read that conspiracy nonsense.
Okay, I thought you guys were saying
Okay, they added one lane to the 405 in a 6-mile stretch, and it took them 12 years. Okay, we don't have underground tunnels anywhere. All right, except for subways. You read there were 2 bodies down there? Oh boy. Oh boy. You guys stop. Stop. I've worked on that estate. I used to talk to my conspiracy friend, who you kept sending me the videos, the fake conspiracy videos on TikTok that showed like that there was a drive-through Starbucks underground, and that's why you don't see celebrities at the coffee shop. And I said, wait a minute, I see celebrities at the coffee shop every day. What are you talking about? It's one of the coolest things about LA is the most common place to catch a celebrity is in a coffee shop.
1137, 9041, hello.
And are there tunnels under P. Diddy's house in the Playboy Mansion? No, that's also nonsense. That's literally, if you want to meet a celebrity, I can, like, if you came to LA, we could just go to a few of their houses. The other night, we were looking at Christmas lights on Mandeville Canyon on YouTube, and I literally was filming Greg Kinnear right through his window, which was kind of funny, actually. Merry Christmas. But no, coffee shops are the best spot, you know. You see them all. Who have I seen in coffee shops? First celebrities I ever met in a coffee shop were. First one ever was William Shatner. Well, my first 6 months here, I worked at a coffee shop, so I saw one every day. I can't even sit here and name the whole list, but the first 2 I saw there were William Shatner, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I used to hit on her. I hit on her every day for a few days before one of my workers said, dude, do you even know who that is? And I hate repeating stories, but I used to try and give her free coffee, and she would get annoyed at me. And I was like, what is this? Why is this bee getting annoyed at me because I'm trying to give her coffee? And I didn't know she was rich, right? Trying to give a rich celebrity coffee isn't as effective as trying to give free coffee to two broke girls. By the way, I also appeared on that show, Two Broke Girls. And let me tell you something, Beth is a sweetheart, and I fell in love with her. It was not reciprocal, but I still fell in love with her. And she spilled hot coffee on my lap. That was the scene where Beth spills hot coffee on my lap. It was 10 years ago this month. I was on Two Broke Girls, and I was it was the season premiere promo. It was the Christmas promo. They kept showing a promo where some guy was staring at Beth's underwear as she bent over in the diner they worked at. And then she goes over and spills coffee on his face. That's me. That was me. I once got an audition. A lot of people don't know this about Hollywood. Still some Hollywood stories. You have a really much better chance of getting work if you're really short. And now listen, we know a lot of tall guys who are celebrities, all right? But that doesn't take away from what I'm saying. Most actors are really short, right? Like, so the new show that Beth is on, the Two Broke Girls Beth, what is that show called? The Neighborhood? So that show, The Neighborhood, if you're over 5'7", you can't work on that show. Like when they call you for an audition for that show, you already got your sizes in your size card, but they're too lazy to look. So they call and they ask you, make sure you tell us in your slate how tall you are. Your slate is in the camera when you go, hi, I'm Tim, and blah, 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 I'm this tall, blah, blah, blah. This is my agent, blah, blah, blah. Well, I lied. I'm like, shit, I got to get on that show. I'm like, yeah, I'm 5'8". Meanwhile, I'm 6'1". You know what I mean? And I'm fucking lying through my teeth. But that's just as an example. Any actor who is 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", unless it's a co-star that's super famous that they really want, and then they'll just work around it, you can't work on that show because you will look like a monster. You would look like Lurch standing in a scene. So you'd be standing in the living room with the whole cast, and you would look like Lurch. You would look like Shaquille O'Neal with all these short people. The Daily Beast? Like when you see Tom Cruise in scenes with taller guys and you're seeing their close-ups, he's standing on an apple box. This is not just him, but they'll have a guy standing on an apple box so he looks taller during close-ups and shit like that. People that are 5 foot, yeah, most professional, successful little TV actors are short dudes. They're usually 5'7", 5'8". But we know there's tons of them that are taller, but I'm saying overall, I'm telling you, this is 100% a fact. Now with women, they have an average shorter height, so it doesn't really matter. For the most part, it doesn't really affect your odds necessarily. Merry Christmas. I'm 6'1". I am 6'1". I'm the same size as Jake Paul, probably. I'll fight him. This is how the fight will go. We'll make a contract between me and Jake Paul, right? Since he's way younger than me. This is how the fight starts. Right when we go to touch gloves, I get to spray pepper spray in his eyes, and then they ring the bell, and then we do it. And then I will fucking light him up. That'd be fun, actually. That's the contract I would sign. And we do it with like 8-ounce gloves, or like MMA gloves. What are those, 4-ounce gloves? Neil Bobby? Sure. Who do you want to know? We're closest celebrities that we're near right now that I know of, or that I could point out on camera, is right behind me. We have the great William H. Macy's home. We also have one of Rod Stewart's homes is right behind me. And these are just homes I know of, you know what I mean? Right down here, we're looking at Toluca Lake. You're looking at Bob Hope's house right in this neighborhood. Melissa McCarthy's house right in that little neighborhood of Toluca Lake. You're looking at, who else lives over there? The guy who I was just watching on the documentary last night. Who's the guy in Two Men, Charlie Sheen show? What's that fucking? Cryer. John Cryer's house is right down there. I just got drunk at the bar with that Presley chick. She lives right in the foreground here, right down here in the foreground. Jamie Presley lives right there. I just got drunk with her at Vitello's a few months back. Bob Holt's old mansion is right down here. So you're looking at, see the golf course down there, right? You see the houses right behind that golf course? That's all Toluca Lake. It's literally like Bob Hope's house. Who else lived down there?
683, sir.
Jay Leno's home. Jay Leno's always driving on Mulholland right behind us.
We'll just push shortly.
Okay, gotcha.
But Toluca Lake's full of celebs. But Melissa McCarthy, I just already said her. I'm just thinking of the ones I know. You guys, I'm not a tour guide. I'm just telling you from experience and people's houses I've worked on. I did Christmas lights over at Bob Hope's estate. His family still owned the estate, but he was gone. Who else is in Toluca Lake? Toluca Lake's... Yes, Steve Carell, that's true. Rich, thank you. Steve Carell actually has a home down there in Toluca Lake. That's true. I did know that, but it slipped my mind, but not from personal experience. I just had read that somewhere before. No, I have to take the Christmas lights down. That's on me. Please don't harass the unalive people. Who's harassing them? You're just name dropping? This is lame? Nardog? What are you talking about? Somebody asked for a celebrity tour, knucklehead. So how about we let you out the door, Mr. Grinch? Let's just put him in timeout. Oh, I accidentally blocked him forever. Oops. Anyway. Where's your buddy's house, Spencer Pratt? Oh shit, he's nowhere near us, Tahiti. We'd have to fucking travel all the way through the valley and then up over the mountain to get to the Palisades. Yeah, can you believe that guy made me block him on Christmas morning? What a Grinch. We're not trying to block people, buddy. People want to know where the celebrity homes are. I'm telling you where they're at, buddy. Jay lives in Beverly Hills. Listen, I don't make shit up. I don't know where Jay's house is. I've never known where Jay's house is. I think Jay has 2 houses. I know that Jay has lots of property, or not lots. I know that Jay did his show right there in Burbank, and he has a warehouse where he keeps all his cars and he shoots that show. That's right over here. You're more likely to see Jay driving or at his car place than you are at his home. I've met Jay Leno out in the streets more than any other celebrity. I've seen Jay Leno in 20 years. I've seen Jay Leno between at least over 50 times, if you count the comedy shows I've seen him at. I have videos on all my pages where I just chased him down a Mulholland Drive and made him roll his window down and talk to me. Like, those are pretty recent. You can see those, where I just chased him down and said, hey, Jay. And I helped Jay Leno when I fucking first moved here. Right here. This is the second time I met him, because I used to deliver food to Jay's office and his writers at NBC in Toluca Lake, when I delivered lunch and coffee from this little coffee shop. And Jay had his little office right there, and 10 writers right outside his room. That was the first time I met him. Second time I met him was off of the Van Nuys exit right there off the 101. His Stanley Steamer was just smoking, and he was pulled over to the side of the road. And I was like, wow, everybody can see it's Jay Leno, right? It's obvious. And he's in a 1920 Stanley Steamer. He's broke down. And that's when I realized people don't help people in California. Like, nobody pulled over to say, hey, Jay, do you need a ride? Do you need a hand? Can I help you? So I pulled over. I said, dude, can I help you? I don't know how to work on this fucking thing. He's like, no. As soon as it cools down, hey, as soon as it cools down, I'll be able to ride out of here. And I seen him again in that same Stanley Steamer. Coming over Coldwater Canyon, going right over the crest of Coldwater Canyon. Oh my God. YouTube is just such a block party, you guys. I mean, can we just call it what it is? American people are terrible. You know what I mean? Americans are just terrible people. It's just sad how terrible American people are. The Budweiser plant is still in Van Nuys. Good morning, Connie. Little fun fact, right across the street from the Budweiser factory in Van Nuys, Rage Baiter, you're blocked. Merry Christmas, you're blocked. Anyway, right across the street from that Budweiser factory, did someone just give me a Christmas gift? Damn, who just sent that right there? Dean sent it. Thank you, Dean. Dean just sent a penguin snow pal. That was pretty awesome. And by the way, I just saw that you had sent me a little donation. And I didn't even catch that. Thank you, Dean. Like a week ago, I just saw that. I just saw that this morning. Sorry, I missed that actually. In real time. On my Venmo. No, across the street since night. I love Rich in here because Rich knows, seems like Rich knows more than even I do. So I like seeing Rich come in here and comment because he knows we're not talking bullshit. He knows what's up. Since 1978, Jay Leno performs most Saturday. Yes, yes. This is a great comment, you guys. This is a fact. Jay Leno not only does a lot of shows over at Flappers right here in Burbank regularly, he's always regularly performed over at the Comedy and Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. This is a fact. This is a fact, yes. Which is a really cool place.
Check the watch commander email from the DOC. All division watch commanders check the email from the DOP.
But anyway, right across the street from that Budweiser factory, somebody was just asking about in Van Nuys. It's off the Roscoe exit, way up there in the valley, right in the middle of the picture up top, is where Sound City Studios is where Nirvana famously recorded Smells Like Teen Spirit album. Okay? So that Budweiser factory is too far to see. We're zoomed in all the way. But right across the street, shitty neighborhood, little industrial area there across the way, Roscoe, Sepulveda area. You're most likely to get shot right in that intersection. Okay, you're not most likely to get shot, but you're likely to be shot in that neighborhood if you're not careful these days. But that's where they recorded. There's also a movie called Sound City about that studio and how it had this famous Neve board, which is now gone because Dave Grohl took the board and it's at his house. But that's where Nirvana rode down from Seattle and they recorded fucking that album right there. What's a Rumble account? What the hell's a Rumble account? You grew up in Chatsworth in the 70s when it was like all horse ranches? I mean, it's still horse ranches. Chatsworth, great spot. Great spot is Chatsworth. You met Lenny from Motorhead at Circus Liquor on Burbank and Cahuenga. That is a great story. That right there is a story I wish I could tell. Now, the liquor store she's referring to, is she saying that? Yeah, April. The liquor store April is referring to is one of the most famous, iconic liquor stores in the world. Not to mention Los Angeles. But that is the liquor store with the big old fucking, iconic sign. You'll have to look it up, you guys. But that looks like a place. Like, first of all, it's a famous place. That's the kind of place you look at and go, I wonder what celebrity would be in here. And you'd be like, maybe Lemmy from Motorhead. Because honestly, oh shit. He was buying a beer and drove an old Corvette. That sounds like fucking Lemmy all day. Now, I met Lemmy at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, which seems like the appropriate place because they named the bar after him. He was like the Norm from Cheers at the bar there. It's called Lemmy's Lounge. But I didn't meet him just hanging at the bar. I met him because we interviewed him. We made a really bad James Brown.
1490 RD 1520.
We made a really bad James Brown documentary. It's actually, I don't even want to direct you to where it's at because, first of all, I didn't produce or direct it, so you can't put the fact that it's a bad movie on me. I was just a camera guy and an interview guy. I mean, I guess I was helping edit and produce a little bit, but like if I had it my way, it would be a good movie. It's really a disconnected movie because it doesn't make sense that we were interviewing like 80s rock stars about James Brown. It seemed like the wrong crowd to be asking about, Like when you're interviewing the singer of Quiet Riot and the singer of fucking Carmen of Peace, about how they were influenced by James Brown, and it's not that they weren't influenced by him; it just didn't make sense. But when we interviewed like Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas, that made sense. Okay, he's gonna speak that language a little bit better, if you guys feel what I'm saying. But it's called Life on the Road with Mr. and Mrs. Brown. I got to interview James Brown in the green room at the Greek Theater. An amazing experience. But I lost my train of thought. That's how I met Lemmy. We were interviewing Lemmy Kilmister for the James Brown documentary in a little room next to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. In fact, another cool thing that was happening in the Charlie Sheen documentary last night is he was talking about On the Rocks. And On the Rocks is the little shitty club upstairs from the Roxy. You get the double entendre, On the Rocks. Anyway, that's where he was talking about when he met Heidi Fleiss and all of her girls. And that's the part that I was talking about where I have a lot of stories I haven't really told about Heidi Fleiss and some of her people. But I have done parody. But anyway, at the backstage at the Greek Theater, so we were friends with James Brown's wife. James Brown's wife at the time got us all this access. Okay, her name is Tommy Ray Brown. She sang in a rock and roll band in the 80s here in LA. She's kind of famous in her own right. Lemmy and his Daisy Dukes. But Tommy Ray Brown was getting us access because she was singing like fucking Janis Joplin songs during James Brown's set. So I filmed her doing her set at the Greek. It was cool because Michael McDonald opened for James Brown that night. So I'm standing on the stage at the fucking Greek Theater. I'm on the side of the stage filming fucking some of Michael McDonald's set, some of James Brown's set. The reason it's cool is because you're supposed to pay like a $10,000 fee to do documentary work or record or do this kind of work at the Greek Theater. Like, that's a fee you're supposed to pay. But Tommy Ray Brown just took us right into the fucking green room. If you go on my YouTube, and we're on YouTube, you can see the interview I'm talking about. It's actually on my YouTube. Just the James Brown part interview, just whatever amount of time that was. It's me in his green room interviewing him with the other chick who was producing it. And I apologize for the bad, it's not bad filmmaking, but the people who were producing it and asking the questions, they didn't really know what they were doing, and they weren't allowing me to help them, or it could have been better. But yeah, I got a famous still photo that I really love as I'm shaking James Brown's hand after the interview. I took a still shot of that. And I don't know, I felt like, first of all, I felt like his security was going to unalive me. The only time I've ever been scared with somebody's security in the room, the way they were looking at me, was James Brown's security and Suge Knight's security. And where did I meet Suge Knight? I can't believe it. I've met a lot of fucking celebrities. I met Suge Knight, and I didn't actually, let's retract that statement. I didn't meet or hang out or shake the hand of Suge Knight. This is where the first time I was in the same room as Suge Knight. There were no conversations, and there were no handshakes, and there were no, hey, nice to meet yous. None of that happened. So let me be clear about that. But the country's first karaoke bar ever was Dimples. There's actually a bar rescue episode with Dimples. And that's right down here. Dimples was right here. Right? You're looking right at Dimples. Suge met me, exactly. So I'm in Dimples with the entire cast basically, of the Jeepers Creepers 2 movie and the filmmaker and the director. And we're all just hanging out having a good time, doing karaoke, getting drunk, all that shit. And into Dimples, the whitest, first of all, it's in the whitest neighborhood in LA, Burbank. It's the whitest bar in LA. And in comes walking Suge Knight and his crew. Just strolling right into Dimples, of all places. Like, if you told me this, I wouldn't believe you. And now Suge Knight's sitting at the bar, and his people is looking at us like, if you even come near us, we'll fucking unalive you. I mean, I'm serious. This is like, I wanted to meet Suge Knight, and I was afraid to even attempt to do it. So there were no interactions with Suge Knight that night. 0 interactions. And no, he didn't sing karaoke. I'm gonna have to write a book. I think I will write a book. Suge is never getting out, by the way. Suge Knight is never getting out of prison. You guys all saw the video of Suge, right? That dude fucked up. The name of my book, I don't have a name. I mean, I've been considering writing a book about all of these experiences in LA, but the book I started was called, it was a book about grifting. So I did start writing a book. I've wrote a couple of scripts. And then the book I started was called The Book of Free. That was just a working title. It's going to have a funnier title, like How to Grift 101 or something like that. It's going to be funnier, like Grifting 101. It's just a book about grifting and how to get shit in life for free. You know, from the dumbest little things, like in my comedy, about how you can get free breakfast every day if you really wanted, just by going hotel to hotel to get the free continental breakfast. How to get free golf lessons, you know what I mean? Just every little thing in life that I've spent my entire life grifting. One of my best friends, Ned Johnson, in the world once said to me, dude, you're the most resourceful dude I've ever met in my life. And it occurred to me that I was the greatest grifter in the United States. And I not grifting in a negative way. These are nothing illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal. It's not against the law to walk into a fucking continental breakfast at a hotel and have some eggs and bacon. That's not against the law. It might be against their policy to not let people who aren't guests come in and have it. I am the grifter. I might just call the book The Grifter. But so there's 2 books I'm going to write. I've started The Grifter. I've started that book. But the working title is The Book of Free. How to get everything you need in life for free, which is possible. Includes a lot of hitchhiking. And then the other one is kind of an autobiography, sort of. But I mean, it's not like I'm a famous person. But so I don't know if that's going to be more narrow on like a book about Hollywood. But I was really being inspired last night by Charlie Sheen's documentary. But see, you're going to watch a documentary about Charlie Sheen because he's infamous. He's famous and infamous. My book, which, by the way, I haven't even outlined, but I got to outline it. I would like it to be from pre-Hollywood. But it might just have to be focused narrowly on Hollywood, because they're not going to be reading it to see what Tim was up to. They're going to be reading it to see what Hollywood was up to. So it's not going to be about Tim meeting this guy or something. It's going to be about Suge Knight, about Heidi Fleiss, about all these celebrities, about Rob Reiner, about all of my experiences with these celebrities and the truth of who they really are, because that's what people like to know. Oh, what is this person really like? Or what is this person like? Watching the fucking 8mm short films that Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, like sometimes in my live, I tell everybody, thank you. Tell me more about the free breakfast thing, said Run Son Arai. Oreo. Thank you for the $2. I'm going to tell you that in 1 second. Like a lot of times in my lives, I'll mention offhand, that Emilio Estevez is Charlie Sheen's brother. And people are like, what? Really? And it's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I don't say it to reveal it. I say it because I thought everybody knew that. This is why you should watch the Charlie Sheen documentary. But yes, of course they're brothers. They were very competitive brothers, like all brothers. And in fact, Emilio, I learned so much last night from the Charlie Sheen documentary. You think you knew everything about him, but fuck, you get to learn all the cool shit about him. Growing up in Malibu with Sean Penn and those guys making 8mm fucking Super 8 films and shit. So awesome, man. But you want to know the part of the grift on how to get free breakfast? Well, every hotel that is above mid-level. I don't know how to rank this. Unless you're at a dive bar motel, all hotels, even a shitty Super 6 motel, has free donuts and coffee. But most hotels have a free continental breakfast. You stay in their hotel, you wake up, you go down to the front desk, and there's fucking eggs, bacon, cereal, waffles, fucking, coffee, orange juice, the works. They have an amazing free continental breakfast. And the better the hotel you're in, the better the free continental breakfast is. So how do you do it? Well, for me, it just started like I was a grifter, so I didn't have a lot of money. I'd be traveling the country. I would be staying at a really shitty hotel that didn't have any breakfast, right? So I would wake up and I would walk across the parking lot to the nice hotel, walk into usually the side door to make it look like I was already staying at the hotel. Because there's a couple of things that are obvious. Like number one, the person working the desk in the morning is never going to be the same person that's working the desk the night before. And even if it was, nobody's going to call you out and say you're not supposed to be in the hotel. You could be a guest that's staying with somebody else who rented the room. So you never have to worry about getting caught. Okay, that's not an issue. The point is, you don't even need to be staying at a shitty hotel next to the nice hotel. You can either drive to where a hotel is, or if you live near a hotel, just drive over, park in the parking lot, and walk. You can walk right in the front fucking door and go get you some breakfast. So there's no trick to the free continental breakfast grift. There is no trick. There is no secret way of doing it. It's just like anything else. You have to act like you're supposed to be there. If you act like you're supposed to be there, well, nowadays they have key access to get in hotels. That's why you just walk right in the front door. There's no card key access to get in the lobby for the continental breakfast. So you can't necessarily walk in the side door in a lot of hotels now, but you can always walk in the front door. So it's that simple, guys. What else would you like to know how to get for free? What is that? You try that shit in Torrance, they're gonna lock you up? I do a joke in my stand-up comedy where I pretend like the manager comes up and asks me to leave, but that's never happened. No one has ever questioned me while I'm eating free continental breakfast at a hotel. I go to the Nissan dealership near my house, and I get out and salespeople walk up and they go, "Hey man, how you doing? Can I help you?" I go, "No, I'm just here to grab a cup of coffee." I don't even pretend to be there to fucking be looking at cars. And they usually laugh at me. I did it most recently down at Carson and Nissan Carson. I actually went to look at a used car there, but I walked up to the door and that lady goes, "Can I help you?" I go, "No, I just stopped by to get some fucking coffee." And she laughed. I walked in and got a fucking cafe mocha. People don't give a shit, man. There's a reason it's called a free continental breakfast, because it's free. They advertise it as free. If I pull up to a hotel and their marquee says free continental breakfast and I walk in and eat free breakfast, what law have I broken? Time to Stand said you're not a comedian, you're a criminal. Okay, well, Time to Stand 69 to 86. If I pull up to a hotel and their marquee has little letters that say free continental breakfast, and I walk in and eat the free continental breakfast and then leave, what law have I broken? They're fucking advertising it. Let's put you in timeout for 5 minutes. I like putting people in timeout for 5 minutes on YouTube because it reminds me of being in school. You know what I mean? I'm listening to the radio, Connor. We've only heard 2 calls. One was for a man armed with 15-inch knife, and the other one was talking about Santa Claus is wanted. I'm absolutely right. You can't advertise a free continental breakfast and then arrest me for going in and eating it. When the sign says free continental breakfast, I've never seen the sign say free continental breakfast if you stay at the hotel. I've never seen that. I've never seen the part where it says if you stay overnight at the hotel. I've never seen that on the fucking sign. Come on. Fuck are we talking about here? You're stealing that food is for the guests. They pay money to stay there. I can't believe people are actually triggered by this. First of all, although it is partially comedy, it's also partially true. Okay? Let me tell you something. Whoever's triggered over here, user LEP4122426. I grew up in a house that didn't have doors, motherfucker. So let me explain something to you. When you're raised, you ever heard the term dirt poor? You know what dirt poor? You know where that term comes from? Because I'm a professional on idioms, because I'm an idiot. That comes from a time when people were so fucking poor, their floors were dirt. They didn't even have a floor. Their house was just built on the ground. That's where the term dirt poor comes from. You know what the term piss poor comes from? It's because people used to just have to piss in a can on their dirt floor. I grew up in a house. It had a front door, it had a bathroom door, and it had a back door. Inside the house, it had no fucking doors. Do you understand? I come from nothing. I come from poverty. I grew up with a mom that had fucking serious epilepsy, and she was sick, and she couldn't work. We had nothing. I grew up with nothing, and I had nothing. So for me in life, yeah, no, I'm sorry. The term is I don't have a pot to piss in. That's the term I was talking about. That comes from being poor. So when you grow up that fucking poor, you have to learn how to grift in life. You understand? I'm not a privileged motherfucker. If I grew up privileged, I wouldn't be eating. You think I want to go eat a free continental breakfast, motherfucker? When you grow up so poor that you're literally walking around the streets of your fucking hometown and your stomach is hungry, you're going to figure out how to go fucking eat, dude. So everybody fucking figure that out. I would have loved to have grew up in a privileged home that had a fucking food on this fucking table. Shout out to moms everywhere. You were orphaned very young? Damn. I don't come from generational wealth. I'll never have generational wealth. I come from nothing. Everything I've ever fucking earned or achieved, I fucking did it by standing the fuck up and doing it. Okay, I haven't achieved anything, but the things that I've achieved personally and for myself are impossible. I've accomplished the impossible. I came to LA with nothing. I came here and fucking slept on the fucking ground. I had nothing when I came to LA. What brought me to LA, Connor? I came here to go to film school. I was a musician. After my best friend was killed when I was 15, I started playing guitar That was my outlet with my brother and some of his friends, and I became a really good musician. And then my band moved down to Texas, and then I started playing in a band down there called Psycho Betty, and a record company out of LA called Reality Entertainment signed us to a record deal. So we were able to record a record, and but we were out of Dallas, Texas. Came here, did the record down in Redondo Beach, out of Wynn Davis's studio, Total Access Studios, where like Dokken and those bands were recording. And then I started, and then we made a hybrid out of that band. We started another band called the Bigums, but we didn't have a record contract. So we started touring independently through the Midwest with bands like Slaughter and shit like that. And then after about 7 years of doing the music scene in Dallas, Texas, with some other friends who had a band that was signed to Sony Entertainment at the time, we were all planning on touring and taking over the world like every band, you know. It's tough business. I did a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie in Dallas, Texas, and I got the film bug. I didn't realize my creative bug went beyond music. I didn't realize it till I did a movie. So I did a few episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger with musician friends in Dallas. And then I did a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and I got bit by the filmmaking bug. And I came to LA with a dude from that movie with nothing. I took the money I made from that movie, which was like $1,400, and drove in a 92 Ford Escort that barely made it through the fucking mountains of fucking Albuquerque, and drove to LA with nothing, not a pot to piss in. Spent a couple of weeks living in my 92 Ford Escort looking for an apartment, and I was able to find one that was $450 a month, and I had just enough money from that $1,400 to pay this guy to let me move in there without a deposit, by the way. Appreciate that, dude. Started working at a coffee shop, and then started driving hookers at night to put myself through film school. So I went to film school while I was driving adult out-call massage girls, some of them connected to Heidi Fleiss, actually. And that's how I paid my tuition. Drove girls at night, put myself through film school, and then I made a movie about that. And the movie I made coming out of film school is just a simple comedy, no production, just some passionate comedy actors. And I made a movie about that, sold it to Netflix, the Russian territory, and then I got a worldwide deal through Cinema Epoch, and got an agent, started acting, started doing national television commercials. I've done some commercials, worked on lots of TV shows. Like I was doing background extra work as well to make money. I've worked on over 100 television shows and movies, just doing like simple background work. Done a few commercials, did a Super Bowl commercial. And here we are at the end of the road. Yeah, I was on Pam and Tommy. And that's my story, and that's it. I'm still in LA. I'm still trying to make my sequel. I mean, I got scripts I'm still trying to produce. I got a couple of comedies. I'm still trying to get them made. Now I'm up here on a mountaintop, and because the world changed and they don't make movies and TV like they used to, streaming is popular, so I spend a lot of my time live streaming. My thoughts on Tom Petty is I could have played Tom Petty in the movie 10 years ago. I could play the older version of him now. I love Tom Petty. I know where both his homes are. One in Encino, one in Malibu, but he died, so I don't know who's... I don't know who owns those or who has those. Peekaboo, I'm in my 48s. I'm in my 49s, peekaboo. I'm in my 47s. I'm 43 years old as of this year. I turned 43 this year. Feeling pretty good about that age. I've been 43 for a couple of years. For about 2 years. I've been 43 for 2 years. Can we do that? Whoever wants to help me produce this comedy, you know what I mean? I'm going all in here. So whoever wants to match me, I got 25,000 that I'm starting the budget with. So I'm looking for $6 or $7 $25,000 investors. I'm also going to do a vertical mini series. So you just direct message me. Oh yeah, I need actors. Hell yeah, I need actors. Get a real career. I think it's a little late for getting a real career. Asking somebody to sacrifice their wants, their wishes, and their dreams to become angry, working in a field they don't want to, just to only become angry and then unalive themselves. That would be silly, Landers. I have no regrets in life. I make money, by the way. I've learned how to make money. I fucking operate a business, buddy. Tahiti's right. I am a professional audio and video editor, filmmaker, field producer, podcaster, streamer, and business owner. You know what I mean? I get paid $10,000 when I do a Super Bowl commercial. I make money. That Budweiser Black commercial I did fucking paid well. That Super Bowl commercial, do you guys remember the Budweiser Black Super Bowl commercial? They once called me one of the most beautiful people in the world in that commercial. You know who directed that commercial? The guy who did the Smells Like Teen Spirit commercial. Merry Christmas, Crazy Jean. Merry Christmas, Pat. Living in LA is not free. It's fucking quite expensive. I've never been handed anything in my life. Anything I ever fucking got was such a fucking was such a tall mountain to climb. The reason I stand on top of the mountain is because it took me my whole life to get up to the top and stand here. And now I stand up here and enjoy every minute of it. Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. You know what? The coolest thing I ever saw up here, and I have video of it. I gotta get that and make a video. You remember when they flew the fucking space shuttle on top of an airplane across the country or whatever, and they landed here? That fucking plane, it did flyovers. This is one of the spots they did a flyover. So literally right above us, this fucking Boeing 747 flew. Oh, there's my buddy Huff saying Merry Christmas. I gotta text him. I gotta text him back pretty soon. Merry Christmas. Where can we contact you for actors? Are you an actor? You just direct message me right here on TikTok. That's how you contact me. Yeah, let's do a pan. Can we do a San Fernando Valley pan? Let's do it. You guys, in my first film cinema class, this is the first shot I learned. It's called a pan. Right now we're panning, you guys. This shot's called a pan shot. And by the way, you can see my very first film school project, a Super 8 film called The Chase. That was our second project. Your second project is you learn screen direction, and you have to learn screen direction by shooting a chase scene. So my buddy Eric, who I often talk about, we went down to Venice Beach with a Super 8 camera, and I shot my movie's called The Chase. And it's where a guy's chasing, a guy pickpockets a guy's wallet, and then the other guy chases him through a crowded Venice beach and catches him on the beach, takes his wallet back, and is about to punch him out or whatever. It's a 2-minute chase scene. It's on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. Shot in black and white. And it's really fucking good. And I got an A on that. But no, that's how I learned screen direction. Listen, I know how to make a goddamn film. I just need somebody to give me some money to do it. That's how it works. This is live. You're looking over the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, California. This is straight up live. They did that chase scene on Baywatch. It's very Baywatch-like. Mine's a little grittier. Mine's a little bit grittier. Mine's like a, fuck, I forgot that guy's name. Mine's a little bit more Quentin Tarantino than Baywatch. The cool thing about the scene I shot, the chase scene I shot in Venice Beach, is the walkway was crowded, and so I had hundreds of extras that didn't know they were involved in the scene. So I implore you to go watch it. Why? Go watch the reactions of all the people watching the chase, because we didn't have lights and big cameras. I just had a Super 8 camera as I chased these guys, or I would stop and do shots. So as these guys were chasing each other, everybody thought there was a real chase happening. They thought some dude was trying to chase another dude down and beat him up, and they were running through all the people, right? So it looks pretty fucking realistic. I mean, it looks really fucking good, man. That's how you get 300 to 500 people to be extras in your movie. You don't tell them, you just go do it. It's not a pinned video, it's on my YouTube channel. You go to my YouTube channel and you just scroll through all the videos. It's called The Chase.
25, 30 years. Wearing a gray baseball cap, white
Here, I'll show you.
jeans. Vehicle was a
Old
gray
YouTube.
Hyundai Elantra truck.
Well, I'm on YouTube.
99 Williams John 276,
You know what?
99
Well, listen,
John
YouTube.
276.
I'm over on TikTok, YouTube.
Revenues was source code 2 until 1581 or 1512.
So I'm gonna wrap it up, YouTube. But if you're on YouTube, jump over to my TikTok, same channel name, because I'm gonna wrap it up here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right here in the corner. All right, YouTube? I'll see you guys, YouTube. I'll check in with you later. But I'm still on TikTok.